30 Reasons Why is brought to you by M.I.C.E.Labs in collaboration with Clinical Evolve, where we'll dive into the nuances of research, interact with our distinguished speakers, and hopefully spark some thought provoking discussions. Before we begin today's episode, I would like to provide a short introduction about our organizers. MICE, which stands for Medical Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship, is your go to place for your crazy ideas. By fostering a collaborative environment where young, tech savvy medical students can pair their passion for patient care and innovative thinking, MICE aims to empower the next generation of healthcare leaders. Our mission is to provide opportunities that enable students to develop solutions that not only improve patient outcomes, but also revolutionize the way healthcare is delivered on a global scale via interdisciplinary collaborations. Next up, Clinical Evolve is an academic medical organization dedicated to advancing healthcare through education, research, and patient care. With our motto of Chase Excellence in Skills, we aim to focus on the development of clinical skills, build a community of academically oriented medicos, and work towards a common vision of advancing healthcare in India and worldwide. Before I introduce our speaker for today, let's know a little about today's post session activity as well. We have invited a couple of undergraduate students, MBBS students, to share their research stories with us to give an insight into their lives. And I don't really want to spoil it beforehand, but I'm sure that it will be very fun hearing all the stories and anecdotes they have to offer. Um, and for today's episode, finally, we have with us Dr. Tarun Kumar Suvvari. Dr. Tarun is a physician, researcher, and public health innovator from India with a strong focus on infectious diseases, antimicrobial resistance, and frugal diagnostics. With a unique blend of clinical experience and systematic thinking, he's passionate about translational research. He is the founder and chairman of Squad Medicine and Research, a non-profit dedicated to grassroots innovation, research capacity building, and evidence-based health interventions in low-resource settings. He also founded the Rangraya Student Research Society and previously served as the national president of the Global Association of Indian Medical Students. Manager students. A dedicated leader and educator, he has delivered numerous talks and participated in high level panel discussions. Recently, he was selected as one of the only two global recipients of the University College of London Impact Scholarship for the MPH 2025-26. He always follows and says that enjoy every moment of life. And with that, I'd like to pass on to Dr. Tarun to continue the session. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Hi Archie, is my voice audible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, thank you so much for your good introduction, and my thanks to MICE.Labs and Clinical Evolve for the invitation. So it was nice interacting with the students after a long time. So and the topic which I got is like something which is very unique, and I liked it very much. So decoding the research mindset. I think I have followed the other sessions previously, so and it was very good. And I think this sets the stage for the completion of the entire episodes which you planned for the season one. And without much delay, let me begin the session. Please let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, yeah. So I try to make this session like a mixture of information and motivation, more sharing my story and insights. Uh, Let me begin with the first slide, which takes the essence of this research mindset. So every great clinical research question starts where the textbook ends. At the bedside, with a moment of curiosity, no one else passes to explore. So we all read the same textbooks, we all go to the same ward rounds, we all do the same degree, maybe MBBS or MD. But if you see the people who are into research and who are very much active in research, so they pause and think beyond the textbook or the beyond the routine thing which we usually do in our academic curriculum. So for that, most of us think that we might need a good degree. Okay, as MBBS student, I might not be eligible to do research. I may need MD. People in MD, when I interact with PG students, they say, no, no, I will do research when I become a senior resident. I will become an assistant professor. I have more knowledge, more command, more experience. So it's not the degree or it's not the year in which you need to start the research. It's always the zeal and enthusiasm which you should have. So which means like we often think research is something you do after you become an expert, but actually the research mindset is what helps you become one. So once you started thinking uh, the research pathway and beyond the textbook, out of the box, then you are become one of the researchers. So, and this is a standard definition, like research is seeing what everyone has seen and thinking what nobody else has thought. And why research is important? It's for money, it's for fame, it's for just improve CV to get some grants or get into some workshops. Let's see. So recent research isn't just for academics, which means broadly for like in our settings, academics means like just focusing on exams, but in broad terms, academics means like even extra academics related to research, like workshops, conferences, and other stuff. It isn't just for academics. It's how we advance care, patient care, question assumptions, and personalized medicine. So understanding the research mindset empowers clinicians to ask better questions. Why only this drug? Why not the other drug? Why only this much dose? Why not heavier, less dose? And think critically. So to take some challenging decisions and to make meaningful contributions to science. So the major essence of research is like you do research to contribute to science, like giving more information. Like today, your thesis today your ICMR project maybe uh, may give a lead to draft a better research question in future, or may give a lead to frame guidelines in future. Who knows? So it's always like as a student, I can you shouldn't think like as a student I cannot do some impactful research and as a or good research. So there is no good research, bad research. It's always research which whether helping the patient care or which making the meaningful contributions to science. So never think that the research I'm going to waste as it is. And evidence-based medicine is one of the famous and unique concept which links to research. So like I think the reason why I kept this uh, slide, because each one of you should know what is evidence-based medicine. So evidence-based medicine revolves around the research and research curiosity. So evidence-based medicine is a systematic approach to healthcare decision making that integrates the best available scientific evidence, which is in journals, with clinical expertise, your clinical knowledge, and patient values, what patient needs and what patients prefers. It involves using the research findings to guide decisions about patient care alongside the doctor's experience and patient preference. That's what I said. Suppose let's take a case. Uh, Suppose let's take a simple disease, diabetes. So in diabetes there are various drugs which we will give, but as a clinician, you commonly try to prefer a standard drug to your patient by following the guidelines. But the guidelines which you follow to prescribe drug comes from the standard guidelines which are updated yearly basis. Whereas if you see the journals, if you're a diabetologist who reads diabetic journals regularly, who follows the latest scientific evidence in diabetes, then you might able to have an extra advantage of giving the best treatment to the patient, because In order to get the information into the guidelines and the practice, there is a gap of around 1 2 years. But if you follow the latest journals which publish the latest findings, if you are aware of it, if you know how to implement it, then the patient receives the best treatment available, latest treatment available, and your experience and your clinical knowledge will also increase. At the same time, it's not like you should always push the latest treatment on the patient. You should also take the patient preference, patient values, and also what patient prefers over this. So these are the things which you will learn through evidence-based medicine. So the latest research, which always revolves around this evidence-based medicine. So that's what I said. So today your research might go into a clinical guideline or go into some diagnostic module. So this is how the research enters into the evidence-based medicine path. And how to become the how to become a researcher. I mean, how to develop the mindset. So it's always from data to researcher, flipping the script. So most of us start out reading research papers, maybe just to pass exams, find background information for an assignment, or memorize facts for Viva question. So in medical setting, we may not use research papers to pass exams, but in PhD setting, we always use research papers to pass exams. But what if you put the approach? So instead of asking what do I need to remember, what if you ask what's missing here, what's new can I ask from this data? That means critically appraising the research paper. So it's not just like you just simply read the research paper and cite it, or frame the summary and use it in the assignment, or use it in the I mean any other essay which you do. It's like what exactly the research paper is trying to convey, and what conclusions I can make through the data in this research paper. So, like suppose you have seen some rare tumor while going to the clinical rounds, or in the OPD. Suppose like in internship, I don't know how many interns are there in the C. So in internship, if you go through a posting, especially medicine surgery OBG, so that's long postings now. So if you sit in the OPD continuously for 1 week, you can make a clear observation of a pattern of very common cases which you observe. Which maybe if you take OBG, any gestational diabetes mellitus, or any eclampsia, eclampsia not very much, but preeclampsia maybe, gestational hypertension you may observe in medicine diabetes hypertension, or if you wards like if you're posted in wards, and you may like if you followed a patient for the long time which may be a unique case, then you go back to the relevant cases available in the literature, read them, then you try to find out the relation of how the cases published in the literature presented, how your case presented. You try to compare, and then you will definitely find some new insights. You definitely draw some new conclusions from it, and you can able to publish your case or present your case as you like. So this comes from observing cases during posting sounds or OPD, or reading relevant journals. So whenever I think I will do a research on a specific topic, I will start reading relevant journals. Suppose when I during my ICM or STS, when I thought I will take diabetes or hypertension as my sample population, because that's what I can afford it very easily. So I read 5 hypertension journals, 5 diabetes journals. Then after reading 5 to 6 issues in each of the respective journals, so I understand what type of research is going on hypertension now, what kind of research is going on diabetes now, what type of research I can frame according to the my setting, and what really defines the research mindset. So, do you think it's need to be in AIMS, New Delhi, or some big JIPMAR or PJMR or any good institute? No, it doesn't require a good lab, or it doesn't require a title like I'm an MD, I'm an assistant professor, or it doesn't require a grant, very big grants, or even a small ISM or STS students. It always starts the momentum. You stop asking what is known and start asking what remains unknown. And many people who applies for ICM or STS, when it gets rejected, they stop thinking, okay, I might not get the money, or I might not do because I am not getting any certificate. But I always insist when I take ICM or STS sessions, even though if your ICM or STS is rejected, do the research, continue it despite the rejection, continue it. So and finish it, then you will start enjoying the research around this evidence-based medicine. So that's what I said. So today your research might go into a clinical guideline or go into some diagnostic module. So this is how the research enters into the evidence-based medicine pathway. And how to become the how to become a researcher, I mean how to develop the mindset. So it's always from data to researcher, flipping the script. So most of us start out reading research papers, maybe just to pass exams, find background information for an assignment, or memorize facts for Viva question. So in medical setting, we may not use research papers to pass exams, but in PhD setting, we always use research papers to pass exams. But what if you put the approach? So instead of asking what do I need to remember, what if you ask what's missing here, what's new can I ask from this data? That means critically appraising the research paper. So it's not just like you just simply read the research paper and cite it, or frame the summary and use it in the assignment, or use it in the I mean any other essay which you do. It's like what exactly the research paper is trying to convey, and what conclusions I can make through the data in this research paper. So, like suppose you have seen some rare tumor while going to the clinical rounds, or in the OPD. Suppose like in internship, I don't know how many interns are there in the C. So in internship, if you go through a posting, especially medicine surgery OBG, so that's long postings now. So if you sit in the OPD continuously for 1 week, you can make a clear observation of a pattern of very common cases which you observe. Which maybe if you take OBG, any gestational diabetes mellitus, or any eclampsia, eclampsia not very much, but preeclampsia maybe, gestational hypertension you may observe in medicine, diabetes, hypertension, or if you wards, like if you're posted in wards, and you may, like if you followed a patient for the long time which may be a unique case, then you go back to the relevant cases available in the literature, read them, then you try to find out the relation of how the cases published in the literature presented, how your case presented. You try to compare, and then you will definitely find some new insights. You definitely draw some new conclusions from it, and you can able to publish your case or present your case as you like. So this comes from observing cases during posting rounds or OPD, or reading relevant journals. So whenever I think I will do a research on a specific topic, I will start reading relevant journals. Suppose when I during my ICM or STS, when I thought I will take diabetes or hypertension as my sample population, because that's what I can afford it very easily. So I read 5 hypertension journals, 5 diabetes journals. Then after reading 5 to 6 issues in each of the respective journals, so I understand what type of research is going on hypertension now, what kind of research is going on diabetes now, what type of research I can frame according to the my setting, and what really defines the research mindset. So, do you think it's need to be in AIMS, New Delhi, or some big JIPMER or PJMR or any good institute? No, it doesn't require a good lab, or it doesn't require a title like I'm an MD, I'm an assistant professor, or it doesn't require a grant, very big grants, or even a small ISM or STS grants. It always starts the momentum. You stop asking what is known and start asking what remains unknown. And many people who applies for ICM or STS, when it gets rejected, they stop thinking, okay, I might not get the money, or I might not do because I am not getting any certificate. But I always insist when I take ICM or STS sessions, even though if your ICM or STS is rejected, do the research, continue it, despite the rejection, continue it. So and finish it, then you will start enjoying the research. And for the research, to develop the research mindset, you need the scientific inquiry and the critical thinking. So just let me go through, like now I will go through a set of slides which you might listen in the previous sessions. I will go a little bit fast, and First, you make observation, whether it may be in an OPD or it may be in wards. Then you try to think of any interesting questions, any leading questions from it. So why this common pattern among the diseased people? Why this common drug? Why this marker is commonly elevated among these people? Then you will try to formulate a hypothesis. So why does this marker is increasing constantly among this population? Then you try to develop testable predictions. So this disease is positively associated with rise in this biomarker. Then you will try to uh, gather data or test predictions based on you develop hypotheses and theories, and then you start doing a study, and you will confirm the hypothesis true or false. And like how to come up with the research skills. Okay, you have the research enthusiasm, you have the research zeal, but how do you start? So identify the broad area of interest. Some people might interest in cardiology, pediatrics, some interest in pathology, physiology, and also students especially try to take subjects from their year of study because it's little bit convenient. It's not like first year student cannot do research in final year, but logistically it might be a challenging for them to go to final year departments, approach, collect data. So first preference is interest, then you need to also check the feasibility and burden. Then review the existing literature to understand what has already been studied. Okay, now you understand, let's say, cardiology. Then you go through different journals, you read different cardiology journals, you understand something. Or you made an observation. Recently, there is an increased rise of sudden cardiac death among adults. Okay. Now narrow your focus by identifying gaps. Okay, you identify 2 to 3 topics, but check whether the research has already been done on those topics. Because if the research has already been done on the topic, so there is no use of already doing, right? So okay, you check. Okay, took sudden cardiac death. You find there are not much great studies available in India. Then try to formulate a study question. Uh, Prevalence and risk factors associated with sudden cardiac death among young athletes or among people going to gym or among young adults. Young adults means 18 to 25. You have a study population. That's how you formulate a question. Here I given another example. Broad area is COVID-19 treatment. So then you review the studies on what are the antiviral therapies available for COVID-19. Then you find out there are limited studies on drug X and Y. How does the drug X impact recovery rates in COVID-19 patients over the age of 60? So this is how you develop a research question from a broad area to a specific question. Now, what are the characteristics of a good research question? First, it should be specific and focused. It should narrow your scope and address a clear issue. It should be relevant and impactful. It should address a real world medical or healthcare problem. So, repetition, if it's the repetition of an existing research, it's not much use. And testable and measurable. It's like sometimes you might have very good research questions, but you might not have good data, reasonable amount of data to give a conclusion. So that's why your research question should be testable and measurable, which can be answered through your data, which you collect and analyze. And a general question: what are the effects of physical health exercise on health? Exact defined question: does regular moderate exercise reduce the risk of heart disease in adults aged 40 to 60? And before coming with up a research question, should do a literature review. So, what is literature review? Literature review is just like a summary of all previous research which available on your topic. So, the literature review can include an overview of peer research, supporting articles, definition of conceptual variables, I mean what to do, and a theory that connects the idea. And the hypothesis is something which you believe. Okay, what I could say, exercise reduces heart risk of heart diseases. So this is your hypothesis. So based on hypothesis, you frame your research question. Once your research is done, you will say whether your hypothesis is correct or not. It's not always your hypothesis should be correct. Sometimes the hypothesis should be correct or should be not correct. So your duty is primarily your duty is to evaluate the research question. So somebody believe, okay, I should always get positive results in my research. So it's not like it's one of the big misnomer. So research it's not always like your research results should be positive. Even the negative research results also very helpful because it helps in stopping other people to do the research in the same area. And research area, that's what I said, research area should be very broad, and you narrow down your research idea into your research question. We have already covered this, and I have given two examples. I hope it will be enough. Just I will do a one more thing. Research idea is like, suppose you got a research idea, deep brain stimulation and Parkinson's disease. So you read an entire interesting article about the role of deep brain stimulation in Parkinson's disease, but you want to do the research on it. How do you frame it? It comes under neurosurgery. Does deep brain stimulation improve motor function and the quality of life in Parkinson's disease patients? If so, what is the optimal target location with the brain for maximal benefit? So see how specific it is. It directly concentrating on the how it improves motor function and quality of life, and also if we target the deep brain stimulation, what part of the brain we focus. And you might have heard this PICO and final criteria. So sometimes, as I said, depending on the institution, depending on the topic which you do, there will be several limitations to do research. Sometimes you might have very good idea, but it's not very feasible. Sometimes uh, it's like you want to do some research study on a rare cancer, but as an undergraduate student, your college might not have the oncology department. Even though the oncology department, so you need to do a 2 years, 3 years long study, which might not be practically feasible for you. So feasibility is one of the important factor when you try uh, doing a research. And rare. Honestly, I believe you can really do some good impactful research on hypothesis want to do research, start doing research. It might fail, or it might not. It might stop in middle, or you might not able to finish it properly, or the data is inconclusive. Anything. First research would be always bad, or first research might not be always successful. But you will learn so many things unknowingly, so that you can do some good research next time, or better research next time. And as I said, like there are more opportunities beyond ISM or STS. Now so many opportunities are available for undergraduates. For Maharashtra, I think most of the people might be from Maharashtra because M.I.C.E.Labs is from Maharashtra. You have MUHS grant. In Andhra Pradesh, we have NTR UHS grant, and there are few other independent organizations providing grants. And SMR, we are going to launch few more grants in the next month. Stay tuned. So I welcome all of you to apply. And these are the four more important areas which I have worked. One is like diabetes and cognitive impairment. One is AMR, and one is cancer, which I'm working now. One is climate change and health, which is one of the most important pressing health factor now. And now coming to the motivational aspects. So now, like I'm done with theory aspects. Now it's mostly like I will show some examples how research helped me to uh, grow better and better. So don't feel like it's more like self hype or self dabba. So I'm just trying to show my journey so that you will feel motivated and you start developing more interest into research. So, firstly, research is about improving the clinical practice of taking once you graduate. So, if you see, my way of approach is always different from my colleagues when we tackling a case, when I approaching the case, and it's helped me a lot in very personal aspects when I'm trying to fight against specific diseases. And academic growth, definitely research helps. in academics. If you see, most of the students who are very good in academics and prestigious institutes are good in research, who are good in research and good in academics. And personal transformation, it helps you unknowingly, you will feel when you start doing research, it helps you a lot in way of your thinking, personal transformation. So, which helps in several aspects. Research didn't just make me better at medicine, it made me better at thinking, even in real life problems too. And remember, research is a skill, it's not a status. It's not to something to earn a position, something, a degree. It's always a skill, whatever the degree you have. If you have research, it's an extra skill. What you need isn't a title, it's always a determination, passion, opportunity, and a guidance, of course. And regarding the career opportunities in research, like as of now, if you have a good CV, if you have research in your CV, you might able to have an extra advantage compared to other peers. But in the next line of your career, your promotions or your identification will based on these publications and grants. And let me show you few of my pictures of my journey. Like I will just briefly go through one by one. I will just share uh, any relevant uh, incidents to it. So this is make me to stand out me as a speaker in one of the prestigious institute in prestigious conference in Hyderabad. So I was the engaged speaker there, and I was also invited as a speaker in Arjikar Medical College, judge in the Arjikar Medical College for case presentation. And this is I received the grant for UGSRS, which is my state level research grant. And this is tough 2023 conference which happened in Sharjah. Again, I got a grant and I presented two works there. And again, at the same time, I visited another conference which is CPP. I am the youngest speaker there. I got 700 USD grant, and my research on preeclampsia and genetics made me. And this is from very low resource setting, very small medical college in my hometown, where I have done during my lockdown. And this is as a speaker at HPV Summit. Research as a medical student, a journey through my lens. And this is when I'm the president of James at New Delhi, and this is with former AIMS director Ramdev Guleria. So he humbly accepted the invite to be the chief guest, and also he was the chief guest for a summer conference 2 years back. So this is like whenever I'm undergraduate, I would love to participate in several competitions. So this is my presentation in Goa Medical College. So I got third prize for it, and this is one of the unique achievement I received. So this is in 2022, where I was the only medical student in the panel along with NMC. You can see one from NBMS, one from NMC, and one from James. I am the president, and we had a discussion on panel discussion on medical education reforms in India, and I have expressed my views about the current state of medical education and research in India at the undergraduate level. This is the journal launch along with our Honorable Vice President of India, Dr. Venkaiah Naidu, who is a farmer. And this is with team 2022, and this is when I'm the mentor. I'm the mentor for a couple of students at Stanley Medical College, Chennai for Inventio thing. The same. And this is with my juniors, which I started Rangaraya Student Research Society. So 40 students submitted the proposal for state level grant, which is highest in our state. This is the launch of Rangaraya Student Research Society in our college. So in the entire history of 60 years, I was able to initiate something like this. And I have initiated the first undergraduate national conference by any government medical college in our state. So I'm the first secretary. And the research mindset, uh, pushed me to learn these lab skills during my summer. It's my final before final year. At the end of my third year, when most of my friends are enjoying at home, I spent 2 weeks in uh, VRDL, Virus Research and Diagnostic Laboratory, where I learned various PCR techniques and stuff. This is with former Niti Aayog head Dr. V.K. Paul, who is also author of Guy Pediatrics. This is with AIMS New Delhi Scientific Society team. This is where I got first prize in research quiz at AIMS Mangalagiri. And this is at CCMB where there is one interesting program called MEDSRT, Medical Student Training Program. It will be fun. I think every year it happens in December. You all should must apply. So it's very fun. It's at CCMB Hyderabad. And this is one more interesting conference in Jaipur, which I went in final year. It was fully sponsored international conference. It happened in India. It was like we have a lot of people from Sweden, Turkey, Italy, and stuff. So we are the four medical students from entire India who participated in a super specialty conference. It was one of the royal conference. It happened in Vijayaran Palace, Jaipur. And this is with Soumya Swaminathan, who is the former chief scientist of WHO. And we had interacted at TB Innovation Summit, where I presented my innovation on TB using stool as a diagnostic sample for pediatric TB. This is at Institut Pasteur Paris, where I was the only grant member from entire Asia received full sponsored trip to Institut Pasteur, where I presented my poster there. And this is with one of the famous American scientists, Peter, who is from Baylor College of Medicine. And this is at WHO headquarters, so which is one of the unique feat for me. So I just casual email expressing my thoughts to the WHO team landed me in WHO headquarters, where I spent 2 days with AMR team and climate change and health team. And this is with Nobel Prize winner Dr. Publico, who got Nobel Prize in 2013, I think, for G-coupled receptors at in Netherlands. This is the ISCOM's conference. We all are Indians representing India. So I went in internship, and this is VR workshop. And one of the another interesting opportunity is to visiting China, which is very scary and interesting trip for me. So I visited this Shenghua University in China, where I got invitation from American Society of Microbiology for my work on phenotypes and genotypes in various clinical isolates. Again, it is also from very small sample, but here collaboration helped me. So I collected samples and provided to some institute where they helped me with analysis. So you are one more important thing in developing the research and mindset is like uh, having network and collaboration. So I will be little quick. Like during my entire journey of my research, I have been to various places of various research institutes. Also met various big shots and have listened their views about current landscape of clinical research and the future of clinical research. Uh, and this all experience, what I say is like. Uh, Never look for a specific status or CV. Think beyond the CV and try to come up with more zeal and passion so that you will able to do some really good stuff. If you limit yourself to CV or just for sake of certificates, you cannot do some good stuff. You will be limited to that place only. But if you think beyond the thing and if you work, definitely research will take you to a very good place, very better place where you start enjoying, where you believe in yourself and you start doing some good stuff. And I think I'm taking a lot of time. So this is my recent visit to Austria and WHO, and this is I participated with a group of students, my mentees at the hackathon, where I helped them with developing some entrepreneur skills and startup skills. I think now a lot of undergraduates are into the startups and entrepreneurship, and I believe you should also try to explore that pathway also. And let me end with my favorite quote. A clinician at individual level impacts the life of patient. A teacher through his students impact the lives of hundreds of patients, whereas a researcher through his quality groundbreaking research impacts the lives of millions. So I hope you will become a researcher by becoming a clinician and also a teacher by helping your juniors or mentees and some shape. I'm doing some real change and real impact in the lives of patients where you work, hospital or institute. And thanks to my family members, mentors, friends, patients, and all who are the part of my research journey and helped to stand in front of you like this today. So I should thank them all. And now, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take. Otherwise, I'm also very eager to listen to the other students' perceptions and their journey in research.
Hello everyone. If you do have any questions, you can ask now. I think there's a question in the chat box as well, sir.
If I spent on my own, I think I would be in debt. No, all are sponsored. Only Netherlands trip was my only my expenses. That too, I saved my money from my internship stipend and I went. But rest all are sponsored. All are grants. So there are several grants available for each conference. You should apply and. If you're some people think only if I will get this grant only if I have CV, but not. I have many friends whose research is really good and got grant with zero publications. So try to do some innovative, cool stuff, and automatically it takes you to the place. What would you change? What would you change about current medical education in India? So I think it's a it's a good and tough question. I think as of now, I believe there are very good opportunities for students in research. I believe ISM or STS are, I think post lockdown, I observed clearly the knowledge about research has been increased very much, and more people are engaging in research at the government level through SMR and through AIMS. Through James, we always write letters to NMC to make it to propose a uniform code about uniform guidelines in improving research at at undergraduate level, because at postgraduate level there is specific rules in research. But at the same time, I believe if we start making research as a mandatory at the UG level, I don't know how it change the landscape. But what I say is, like, don't limit yourself if you don't have enough opportunities at your college. There are opportunities available remotely with help of various organizations. Try to explore the options and try to utilize them and make the needful. As of now, I don't have people. When I started doing research, most people ask me the only one question, like, are you an USML aspirant? No, like for me, genuinely research is my interest. So initially, I thought I would go into IISc or ICER, but I landed up in a medical college. Now I want to do a PhD, but I might able to. Sorry, I will land up in a medical college again because today I gave the NEET PG exam. So I'm doing the MPH remotely. So after an MD, because I come from very minimal background where I don't have very good economical support or family support, that's why I'm planning. I might able to secure my career first. So better do an MD, then shifting to abroad, either PhD or clearing other entrance exams and going. Yeah, if you see about WhatsApp group, National Research Forum has played one of the important role for me, which is initiated from Dr. Alhad from SEGS. So it helped me to get some very good information opportunities. And I myself was very active. Whenever I visit any conference, I make network, I make collaborations. Even though I am from how many, I don't know how many of you know my college is Rangaraya Medical College, Kakinada, which is second best medical college in Andhra Pradesh. It's the government medical college. First is Andhra Medical College. But still, I have very good connections from Jipmar, Ames, New Delhi. I have friends, network, collaboration. I made them when I'm attending some conferences, whether it's through online or offline. So I believe whatever background you have, it may be very some peripheral medical college or anything. Make network, make connections. Try to be very active and discuss actively with your peers so that it will be helpful. And I myself initiated the platform Squad Medicine and Research, which we mentored almost 1,000 plus students till now, which we are continuing to do. So I will share the details with Archie, where she can share further. She will share with you guys. If you are interested, you can join the group and try to be active in LinkedIn, Insta. Try to follow people who are doing some good stuff. That's it. Okay.
If anybody has a question, they can unmute. Okay, I think we don't have any more questions right now. So thank you so much for that wonderful and very insightful session. Especially all of the photos that you showed that were very inspiring for all the UGs who are present here. So thank you for that. And uh, as you said, we should also begin with the post session activity. We have invited two undergraduate students from GGMC Mumbai only, and they will share their stories regarding how they got into research. So, for the same, I'd like to invite Miss Zuha Sheikh for the first session.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
So it was a really insightful session by Dr. Tarun. He has been a great support and a mentor in my early days of struggle. And it is really an honor to speak from the home grounds of M.I.C.E.Labs. Can you please turn on your cameras, all of you, if you're comfortable? Like it doesn't feel good to speak to the blank screen. Is this Preksha my Preksha? Preksha? Ayush, Covid, turn on your cameras quickly. Let me see. Okay. I think Wasim has also attended a few of the um, webinars from NIMAT, I think.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Preksha? Okay, leave it. Um, okay, speaking about my journey, let me take you, that has come quite last moment for me. So I have not prepared quite slides, but I have few pictures to show you. So, speaking about my journey, let me take you back to where I come from. Archie, do let me know when my time is up.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So, this is my town, and it is Anandvan. It is specifically known for the leprosy rehabilitation center, which it is. So, this is where I come from, and the research I started with research in 2022 when I was in my first year of MBBS. This was our first academic program which we had in our campus, and it was the first academic event that I attended. August is 2022, and in that we had a paper presentation competition which was judged by our anatomy head of the department and another HOD whose introduction I apparently missed because I was running a bit late. I came and I sat in the last row, so I could not even see her. So when I came and I sat and I saw her aura and the way she was um, managing and judging the papers and the way she was pointing out the mistakes and I was really stunned, and I made a resolution for myself that one day I want to be like her, but I did not know much about her. When I asked my friends, like, who is she? Did you attend her introduction? So um, many of them had missed as we were sitting in the last row. So one of them just said she has done her fellowship from Toronto and she is our HOD of some branch of medicine which starts with P, and her name also starts with P. And I was left with this hunt riddle in my life, and time went on. Forwarding to ICMR STS applications that year. So that year, the applications came and I applied in physiology, which apparently got rejected. Then again, um, I started with my postings, life continued, and I completely forgot about research or anything like that, which I thought at the time. But again, that year, October, November, as during those years, that period, we used to have the applications of ICMR STS up in the month of January, and it used to be a big hustle because the guides used to run in scarcity, and the good ones used to be like already been taken. As you all know that it is one student one guide rule. I should not say it this way, but the ones which we used to desire, we never got them actually. So I decided that I'll start really early. So it was October, November, and I decided that this is the time I should go. So I shortlisted three departments. As we went through our clinical rotations, I had pulmonary medicine in my mind, then psychiatry, and then dermatology. As I climbed up the stairs of MOPD building, I first went to the Department of Pulmonary Medicine because it comes like on the first floor. I went there and I asked the professor, and he looked at me skeptically, and he said he was like bit unsure about taking a second year as a student in pulmonary medicine. So he said, "Okay, wait, we will speak with the HOD." But looking at his face, I got understood that maybe he doesn't want to, and I was not ready to listen rejection because that was something new for me at the time. So I rushed to the Department of Dermatology because I know that maybe at that time, at that place, I won't face any rejections. I went, I asked, the professor was more than excited than she was to have me. So, like, everything was fine, everything was good, and we were about to start with our research. But then something struck in my mind as I stood in the doorway, and I thought to myself that I am boarding the wrong train or doing something wrong. Something is like on the wrong track, and this is not what I am supposed to do. So I climbed downstairs and went to the Department of Pulmonary Medicine, this time determined that in any way or any matter, even if they don't want to have me with one professor or the another, I will do research in pulmonary medicine itself. So everything started as usual. We got our IEC approvals. We started collecting the data. But as we were collecting the data, we realized that we were not able to get the proper sample size. Our study was comparison. It was an effectiveness study. So it was a comparison between two regimes of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, the newer regime and the older regime. So this is the cabin of our HOD ma'am, and everything took place here only. It's a very special place for me. So she said that you go on collecting the data of all the patients that we have in our tertiary care center, and that number actually ran into hundreds. So we sat analyzing that data from Nikshay portal, and our main issue was the relapse cases that we were seeing in tuberculosis with the newer regime. So we wanted to have a comparison of those. But even after taking the data of all the patients of that tertiary care center, we had only four patients who reported with relapse. Now the question was, how are we supposed to get a more number of patients involved in our study so that we could get a significant, statistically significant number? So we went on. I said that I don't want to stop this project. I want to go ahead with it. And we went on collecting the data of the whole district. And even after having the data of past 5 years of the patients of the whole district, we just had 10 people who reported with relapse. So this was a really disappointing time for us. And so ma'am said that it's time now that you should shift to treatment failure instead of relapse. So I started with treatment failure. I got several patients of treatment failure. I continued my research in that way, and but even after that, the applications for ICMR STS were not up that year because of administrative reasons. They got delayed, and we were waiting for January, and it was June, and nothing came up. And I was desperate to put my research somewhere that it could get some recognition. So I put it in the IMA in the conference, National U2 NTB Summit, and I had put it for the um, Union World Conference on Lung Health. It just popped up as a notification on the National Research Forum, which Tarun sir already mentioned, of Alad sir. So and that notification popped up on it, and I just applied for it. And it was my luck and blessings uh, that I got selected in the national conference also, and in the international conference also, and received a, scholarship for attending both of them. So I presented my paper in Delhi, and the same year in June, and then I went on to present it in Bali, in the World Conference on Lung Health 2024, on November 12th to 16th. And it was a really pleasant and candid conference, and I got to learn a lot at that place. And showing you pictures from there, this is my presentation screen, and my friends from there, and you could see this picture holds a really big value for me because this is Dr. Najiba. She is MD PSM and her colleagues in the picture. They are no models or they are no trained actresses. They are public health specialists of their Indonesia, and they are representing their culture and attire and the works that they have done in the field of tuberculosis. And this is me in sari representing India. And for both these women, this moment was like a big exchange of ideas, and it was a really honorable moment for both of us to represent our countries and um, hold a place there in the Union World Conference. And after coming back from the conference, I applied for ICMR STS that following year also. But apparently that year also, my application got rejected. But that was quite disheartening, and like everything went on a pause for a few days, but I decided that no, I will not give up. And in my spare time I used to follow up the data that I had collected of the 13,000 patients, and the points that I was not able to cover, and the corrections and the improvements I was told by other people who saw my research paper. So I went on to do the improvements, and doing that over months, I realized that I have landed up with new results, this time completely entirely new. And I submitted it as a separate abstract for the Union World Conference on Lung Health 2025. And apparently that also got selected. And in a row, twice, I have been blessed with the opportunity of presenting my research, once in Bali, Indonesia, and second in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. And also, this whole process has led me to explore the fields of medicine in different directions. I have done a course from McGill University in New York in infectious diseases, and I have studied the PPM, public-private mix, from the McGill University, Canada. And yes, the journey goes on. And from all my experience, I would like to share it with all you people that the world of medicine is very vast, far beyond our undergraduate colleges, far beyond the coaching classes that we have enrolled ourselves in, far beyond from the postgraduate dreams that we have, aims that we have. It is beyond all these things, and the only thing that matters at the moment is to be truthful to the quality of care that we provide to our patients. We need to be truthful to that. We need to be truthful to ourselves. I would like to say that the only people who actually earn their names in the field of research are the ones who do it for the joy of research, just like Dr. Tarun has said, and just like Dr. Tarun has shown by his achievements to us, that it is not that if we run behind the certificates and CV that we earn a name for ourselves. We only earn a name for ourselves when we find who we truly are, what our passions lie, and what the truth we want to show to the world. The Don't consider your research paper as a single dot in the meta-analysis or a single paper in the journal. Consider your research something which will make your name immortal and which will continue to inspire you, inspire other people around you, the and generations after you. It will call like just like Dr. Grigor Mendel, we have seen, like everyone knows about it. Everyone has read about him in the NCRT books, how he went unnoticed for several decades. But even after that, his work was discovered by three people at three different places in the world, and that's how the modern genetics came into being. So consider your research in that aspect, consider your research in that view that it will give something to the world. Do it with the perception of changing the world rather than making it a addition to your CV. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I would like to hand over to RC.
Thank you so much, Zuha, for sharing your amazing story regarding this. And we all have been following you. So it's been amazing seeing you do all this work with so much passion. And now I'd like to invite Kashish Megotia, who is another of my batchmates from GGMC Mumbai as well, to share her part of the story.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I apologize for some inconvenience. I won't be able to switch on my camera because I'm outside. So I hope you're all fine with that. And I would like to first start with this particular sentence. Failure is not a setback. It is basically the process of learning, and it is your opportunity to learn way more than what others would experience far further in their life. Till then, you'll be so experienced because of those failures that you had in your life. So yeah. So basically, in first year, I would see some students having a lot of interest in research, and I also wanted to apply abroad. So I had a lot of greed for upgrading my CV. And honestly, I saw research as a very cumbersome process, and I really didn't want to participate because there was so much study pressure and all that. So I didn't like take it up in first year. But in second year, when ICMR proposal had come up, during that time I was again lacking behind in my studies and all of that, and I was not gonna take it until the last moment when I saw around 40 of my batchmates had put up that proposal, and the deadline was in 7 days. Now I got the FOMO and I wanted to participate now. So I went to our vice dean, asked her for a mentor, and it was very hard for me to get a mentor because all of them, most of them were taken. But eventually, I got our associate professor from the Department of Pharmacology to mentor me. But then also, he was also very critical about my situation since it was only 7 days left. And I just wanted to do it for the sake of avoiding the FOMO and the greed of upgrading my CV. And I went there. He was like, "You get your proposal done, or else we won't. I won't be mentoring you." And in the span of next 3 days, I had done all my entire proposal. I got all the permissions, and by the 7th day, when it was the date to submit the proposal, the deadline was extended, and I was totally dumbfounded. But then, and the first internals were also coming up. So I started improving my project more and more, but I had so little idea of researching and all that knowledge that I was lacking behind by a huge margin. And even since when choosing mentors, you should always start early, because then you should also take professors who are ready to mentor you, because people like associate professors who already have a lot of work on their hands, they can't give you, even though they are willing, they can't really give you a lot of time. So choose your mentors very nicely. But eventually, when sir saw me working so hard, he decided to explain everything to me, because he didn't want to spoon feed. And honestly, when you get spoon fed by a mentor, then it's actually disadvantageous to you only, because then you won't learn anything out of it. And then eventually I submitted my research proposal. And after that, so my mentor finally started approving of me, and he actually asked me and forced me basically to go and get my ethics approval. Most of the students, actually none of the students from our college had gotten the ethical approval, but I got it. And after getting the ethics approval, the results finally came out. But as a disappointment, my ICMR wasn't accepted, and I was really sad. But because I had gotten my ethics approval, I had to, because ethics approval takes a lot of time and energy, and it's very, very hard. And unless you do it by yourself, watching a lot of YouTube videos, seeing people's speeches, you can't learn it unless you do it by yourself. But yeah, because I'd done my ethics approval, I decided to follow the research project and complete it without the ICMR individually. And everybody else had given it up, whoever wasn't selected. So that was one thing I'm really very happy about, because if I wouldn't have followed my mentor's advice and taken up the ethics approval, I wouldn't even continue with this research. And because I continued with that research, I learned a lot of other procedures, how to actually form a rapport with the residents, with the professors, and this how to go and get permissions. And you also get to develop your personality a lot. And although I was starting to lose interest in my research, and I thought it's very hard, and I was getting bored. I was like, why did I even take it? Because by that time, I realized that I might not be going for the abroad studies anymore. And I had made up my mind to do NEET PG. So I was feeling it's a waste of time, because prelims were about to come. My scores were, like not at the top. So it was a disappointment for me. But then slowly the fruits started to bear. I saw the residents, the professors, they started to recognize me, praise me for my work. And during the data collection, the because my project was a cross sectional study, so I had to go and get the consent form and the questionnaires filled by the participants in the study. So they would interact, and some, because we are obviously MBBS students, we wear our white coats, so the patients would really treat you with a lot of respect. In fact, I was able to diagnose one of the patients hidden UTI. And she was actually having diabetes, but the residents had totally overseen her UTI, which was getting worse and worse by every day. And then because of me, she actually got that, and she actually took that up with her resident, and they were like, "Oh, how could we miss that?" So that was also one thing I became really happy about, because that was an accidental finding. And there were a lot of things that I learned. And after that, I started developing interest in research. And even though now wasn't gonna, I'm still not going to pursue USMLE or PLAB, but now I've actually developed interest in researching, although it's a very, very boring process, especially when you're researching through articles, unless you have an inherent interest like Zua ma'am and sir. It's normally kind of boring for normal people like us, but then you actually start enjoying it. And after that, I decided to start researching in the topics that I'm actually interested in, because pharmacology was the topic given to me by Wising, because no professors from other clinical branches were free. And I would really advise you all to do researches in a topic in a particular branch and department that you're really interested in. Because when you apply in colleges and show your CV, if your research is just say in many different departments, then they don't hold a lot of value. Do one research, but do it in the department you're really interested in, and you'll learn a lot. And apart from this, many people say that you can take the research workshops, the guidelines, and you can learn the research by this. But when it comes in residency, you have to give your thesis. Most of the residents, they in the first year, especially, I've heard from JRs, they would be surprised when they would see people from our batch, second year MBBS, third year MBBS, going to research and get the IC approval. And they were like, "Hey, we still don't know how to do it, and how are you juniors doing it?" And everybody would think that I'm a resident, or my batchmates who were selected for ICMR, they are residents. So it really, even though my research, I'd be honest, my research that I did in second year, my data collection is still going on. But I started in that process of the data collection and the report writing. I realized there were so many so many things that were lacking in my research topic itself. And initially I was blaming ICMR for not selecting my research, but then now I have this ability, the acumen, to differentiate and actually decide and conclude how and why, what was the reason that ICMR didn't select. Because when we are just totally amateurs in this field, we can't even read those research papers which are very simple. But after researching ourselves, you'll get the acumen to read it, analyze it, and find topics. Like your first research might not be that good, it would be lacking from a lot of points. But eventually, through this process, you can learn. In UG, you can do a minor research that helps you get the idea of this entire process. And then you can start analyzing other research papers and eventually find a topic. You don't have to do multiple researches, just do one or two, but make them really nice. And start to just read research papers in your free time instead of scrolling through reels. Even that will help you understand and learn a lot. And after that, I started researching. Even Zuha ma'am helped me to start a topic in tuberculosis in the pulmonary medicine department. And we're still in the process of that because a lot of other things came. And I was also, recently we had this seminar by the Spine Foundation. So those people, if you go and sign up over there, they also recruit volunteers who are interested in research, and they give their spine surgeons as mentors for your research. And you can actually, if you are working really well, they might even publish you as a co-author in their own paper. So I'm also doing a research under one of the spine surgeons over there. So there are multiple opportunities, but the main purpose right now, because you are all undergraduate students, right? The main purpose right now is to learn through this process. And if you're good enough, you might just end up publishing multiple papers. Especially one other thing that I've discovered, that in these first 3-4 years, if you're even able to write one research paper, that's good. But I know seniors from different colleges who have written 4-5 research papers in their internship, because in internship the data collection becomes very easy. Whenever you are interning in a particular department, you can go and start collecting your data, and you can publish multiple research papers. So it's not like even that we being Indian students can't make such a good CV. You can do that. It's just that once you learn the process, it becomes very easy for you. Now, getting an IC approval wouldn't be as cumbersome as it was for me. I literally took around a month to get it, and now it would be around 2 to 3 days of work. So I think you all should really just start reading through articles and try to take up multiple topics, analyze, write the pros and cons, and see why. There's also a finer criteria. You can actually start judging your topics through that, and then go to mentors, keep approaching them. And eventually, you'll find really good mentors who are willing to do it for you and who have enough time. And once you start the process, you can finally get your research done. And then this will help you so much in residency. You'll feel it's very easy to get your thesis done then. So yeah, that's all I think I would like to say. And I hope that was enough encouragement for you because the technical most of the technical terms were already explained by Zuha ma'am in a really enlightening speech. So yeah, thank you so much, Archie.
Thank you, Kashish, for joining us. And yeah, thank you to everyone who joined. This was the last episode of the season one of 30 Reasons Why. Stay tuned, stay joined with our social media accounts of the mice and clinical evolve. Will be posting more about the further seasons we are going to have, since this season got a great response. We'll be having further seasons like this as well. And to end it, let us all turn on our cameras if we could, and let's take a photo together. I request everyone to please turn on their cameras. Okay, thank you so much. Uh, Thank you so much for attending throughout, who all have attended till the last episode of the season, first season. And yeah, I hope we see you in the next one as well. Yeah, you can start leaving. Thank you.